In the previous session, we have seen some of the properties of S parameters, S matrix. Okay, let me just recall very quickly. Okay, so these are the properties which we have already discussed. The first one is if there are no reflections, if there is a perfectly matched load, then we will get the diagonal elements of the S matrix as a 0. This is the first property. Then S matrix is a square matrix of the order n cross n. N indicates the number of ports. Then we have seen a symmetric property, even the derivation we have seen. This applies to a reciprocal network. So we even call this reciprocity property. Okay. So whenever symmetry comes, reciprocal, remember this. And whenever the unitary property comes, we consider the lossless network. Lossless in the sense there is no resistance for the flow. That is lossless. So whatever input we give, the same amount of output we get. That is the ideal network, lossless. So we have seen the symmetric property, then unitary property, that is S transpose and S conjugate. If you take the multiplication of these two matrices, you will get the identity matrix, that is unit matrix. That's why it is even called unitary property. Then we have seen the phase shift property also. If these are the two reference planes for two-port network, if you just change these reference planes, if you shift these planes, then their phase gets shifted. The S parameters what you have, their phase gets shifted. That's what you can see. The new matrix is the S matrix multiplied by this. You can observe here the parameter is only exponential, that is phase. It is indicating the phase, not the amplitude. So there is a change in the phase. And we have seen the symmetric property proof, how it is proved. No need to again recall this. Okay, this property we have proved. And the next property, which is a unitary property applicable for a lossless network, I had asked you to go through and try it as an assignment part. Hope you have tried. I don't want the accurate answer, but at least you should try. So in today's session, we are going to look at this unitary property, how it is proved. As I said, unitary property is applicable whenever we consider a lossless network. Okay. So for a lossless network, I'm giving you the definition, the statement of this property. For a lossless network, the sum of products of, you know what is SOP, right? Sum of products of, that is something like this, plus, something like this. So sum of products of each term of any one row or column of S multiplied by its complex conjugate is equal to unity. Try to understand this. If I consider a two-port matrix, say ये आपका two-port network है, उसमें S matrix will be having the order 2 cross 2, means 4 elements रहेंगे, that is S11, S12, S21, S22. Okay, this is your S matrix. I'm taking an example. I'm trying to explain you what does this statement means. So for a lossless network, the sum of products of each term, okay, each term, when I take the product and the sum of any row or any column with its a complex conjugate. So if I take one more matrix, this should be a complex conjugate. In the sense, अगर ये first term आपका S11 है, ये first term आपका S11 star होगा, conjugate. A plus IB है, तो A minus IB will be its conjugate. S12, its conjugate is S12 star. So this is your second matrix indicating the conjugates. Every term is having its conjugate. Okay. So this is your second matrix. So what does this mean? What does it say? The sum of products of each term of any one row or any column of the S matrix. So if suppose I take the first row of the matrix, let me take this, okay, first row. If I take the multiplication of first row with its complex conjugate, see your S11, if I'm taking, which is in the first row, I should take the first column, okay, first row, first column, because S11's conjugate is S11 star. So if I take this, what is the product? Let me write it here, S11 into S11 star. This is your first term, and it is given here. It is the sum of the products. Means I have to continue. One more term you have. You have to complete the row. So first term is over. Then I will go for S12 plus S12 multiplied by S yeah, S21 star. Okay, so first row and first column, this is equal to 1. This I'm giving you one example of a 2-port network. So this can be applicable for a n-port network, multi-port network. So we will generalize this statement. This I have given you for simple 2-port network. Suppose you want to take the second row. If you are taking the second row, don't multiply it with the first column. You should take the second column, complex conjugate. So first row, first column, or second row, second column. If you take that, this will be equal to here. This will be equal to 1. So this is what the meaning of unitary property is. So in general, I have written, as each term has got a sum here, I am taking the summation. And for a n-port network, I am doing, so the value of n varies from 1 to n. And you can see here S11, S11 star, and similarly S12, S21 star. So likewise, if you continue this, generally I can write it like this. SNI, N indicates the port number. Okay, here for first port it is 1, and for second port it will be 2, like that up to n. So this is a generalization of this. What I have given an example for a 2-port network, I'm generalizing it for a n-port network. N number of ports are there. So n indicates the number of ports. See, the second term is conjugate. First term is your S parameter, and second term is a conjugate. So here second term is a conjugate is equal to 1. So this is the statement of unitary property. Let us go for the proof of this property. For a lossless n-port microwave network, the total input power must be equal to the total output power. So we are starting with the ideal lossless network. So there will not be any resistance for the flow. Hence, जो भी input देंगे आप, same amount of output you get. So this is what a lossless network means. So we are taking the definition of that. So input power is equal to output power in symbolic form. I have written here, why I have taken this is, total number of the total power leaving the n ports must be equal to the total power input to these ports. The meaning I will tell you here. Let me take the figure and show you. Again, for a 2-port network, I will take and show you. You can see this is one 2-port network. We had taken this, I guess, for losses, different losses. Yes. So this same figure, let me just show you what does that equal power means. For a lossless network, total number of input, the total input power is equal to total output power. The meaning is, for the first port, for this 2-port network, if you consider the first port, okay, just concentrate only towards the first port. For this port, the input power, okay, if there is a wave here, I can represent any wave in terms of power, because a square I can take. The same concept we have taken here, right? The proportionality. See, we have taken the same. Power and the traveling wave are related in a squared form. But power is proportional to the traveling wave square. So the same in the same concept, if I take, this is your entering power, this is your leaving power. I am talking only with respect to port 1. Okay, no doubt it's a reflection, but with respect to this port 1, power entering is A1, power leaving is B1. Similarly, now look at port 2. Power entering is A2, power leaving is B2. So likewise, ऐसे अगर आप मल्टीपोर्ट नेटवर्क लेंगे, लाइक A1 A2 आर दी एंटरिंग पावर्स, अगर आप पोर्ट्स ज्यादा करेंगे इट विल बिकम A3 A4 A5, इन जनरली जितने आपके n नंबर ऑफ पोर्ट्स हैं उतने an होंगे, A1 A2 A3 A4 अप टू an. Those a's represents small a represents entering power. Similarly, for a two-port network, power leaving क्या है? The traveling wave which is leaving, it is B1 and B2. If you take multi-port network, B1, B2, B3, all up to Bn. So An indicates entering power, Bn indicates leaving power. This is, I'm taking one example of a two-port network and I have shown you. So the same concept we can extend it for a n-port network also. Hope you understood this, why I have taken power entering is equal to power leaving. Okay, coming to this now, power entering is equal to power leaving. That's why if you see, I have taken An and Bn. They indicate n number of ports. For n number of ports, and C, I have taken square because the relationship between the power and the traveling wave, it may be A or B, how it is? They are square. Because P equal to V square by R, right? Or P equals to I square R. So power and traveling waves are related in a squared fashion. So that's why I have taken the sum indicating for n number of ports A1, A2, A3, A4, B1, B2, B3, B4 up to n number. So summation I have to take, and An and Bn I have equated. Just now I have shown you for a two-port network how it is entering and leaving. Now, since we have already seen the S matrix representation, generally how it is represented in the matrix form, B is equal to S into A. This is our general representation. So what I will do, RHS I will keep it same. I will keep the RHS same. In LHS, summation also I am keeping the same. Instead of a B, I am writing, instead of B, I am writing S into A. See, S into A I am writing. And since we are considering n number of ports, so that's why again I have to consider all n numbers. That's why one more time I have to take summation. Okay, you might be asking why two summations. So this summation is as it is, which indicates all the traveling waves squares. We are considering that is output power or input power, whatever. Keeping that summation as it is, B is equal to S into A. This is the generalized form and it is applicable for a multi-port network again. So I have to take one more summation. Depending upon this I value, the number of the ith port, generally I have written here I. Depending upon the I value, the port number can be identified. Okay, so N I A I, because B is equal to S into A. Here also B is equal, instead of B, I have written S into A, and there is one extra summation indicating for generally multi-ports. And RHS I have kept as it is. In the next step, observe, if I take ith port, okay, the summation will go. क्योंकि out of those multi ports, I want only ith port. कोई एक, okay, it can be 1, it can be 2, it can be 3, it can be any number, but I want a single port. Now I am very much specific. So summation outside I am keeping as it is. This summation will go, and instead of this summation, I am taking only one port. That's why this summation I am not considering. I am taking only one port. Okay, and RHS, you can see I have changed this N to I. Why I have changed this? Because I am considering the ith port. So for that I am considering, instead of N, I am taking I. So it will be AI whole square. Okay, so all AI AN will be equal to 0 except AI. Why I am taking this reason is, if you remember, when we were discussing about the S matrix representation, we have taken n number of ports. Let me just quickly show you the figure, then you can just recall. So while deriving that expression, we have taken this figure. Here, if you see, all the lines were terminated with the characteristic impedance. For that, we won't get any reflections. So except any one port, because every time except one port, all other lines are matched loads, matched terminated. So no reflections from those ports. Only the line which we consider for our expressions, for equation writing, only that line will have this condition. Reflections do occur, but all other lines perfectly matched condition. So because of this, I have written that statement here. All an equals to 0 except ai. So whichever port we are considering, for that we don't have, we are considering this, except that an will be equal to 0. So if I consider this and only ith port I am considering, so if I take that, instead of an, RHS will become ai, and this summation will go because I want only one port. So this is your equation. And here again some simple mathematics. Whatever this an, this I'm taking only the magnitude, because whenever we are considering the traveling waves do have their own amplitude as well as the phase. And you have seen the phase shift property also. Whenever the reference planes change, they shift, the phases will change. That's why e raised to j phi we take this parameter. So for that, this I have to consider the mod. It indicates only magnitude. Okay, no, I'm not considering the phase here. So if I split this magnitude, it will become something like this: ni and one more ai whole square. Okay, separately I can write it, and this ai, this I can take it to the RHS side, it will come in the denominator. So that's what I have done, and these gets cancelled. So we don't get anything here, it is equal to 1. So what does this mean? Summation of Sni magnitude of this square is equal to 1. So what do you mean by this magnitude? Magnitude indicates Sni and Sni. If you take these two multiplications, you will get Sni square. But there is a magnitude. So magnitude indicates I have a conjugate. So whenever I multiply these two, then only I will take only this much, Sni square. Why I'm considering this magnitude? Because there is a phase change. So if I take this magnitude, it indicates there is a one actual quantity and there is one complex quantity. So if you multiply these two, then the resultant is this. So that's why I can write this in this form: Sni multiplied by Sni conjugate. Okay, because simply if I take Sni into Sni, it will become Sni square. But here I am taking the mod amplitude. Why? Because I am not bothered about the sign. It means there is a change in the sign. That's only I am not bothering about this sign. So phase change occurs, because of which mod indicates, and that too it is a square. So it is the original quantity and with its complex conjugate is equal to 1. This is your required proof. You can see summation Sni star is equal to 1. So this is your unitary property. Sometimes here you can, I think you can view this from pencil. I have written n arrow mark k. In the sense, sometimes if the proof is asked to you, unitary property, they may use the notation instead of n, k. Okay, so it means k number of ports. That's what the change is. So the variable which I'm using here, small n, you can use even any variable in general in your textbooks. If you see, it is I think k. So this is your unitary property. Example which I have just now explained you before the proof. The same example is here for a two-port network. If you take this, for a two-port network, just expand the summation. this summation, if you expand from 1 to 2, right? 2 port. Substitute n is equal to 1, 1, then 2. So 1, 1, 1, 2, 2, 1, 2, 2. That 2 conjugate. So that's why it is S matrix multiplied by its conjugate. This bracket indicates I'm taking these two quantities, SNI and SNI star, is equal to 1. Indicates 1 indicates what? It's a square matrix, so I can't use simply 1. It is in the form of a matrix. I have to write 1 0 0 1. Further, you can take the multiplication row into column. First row and first column. S11, S12. Yes, here. Okay, sorry. S11 into S11 star plus S12 into S21 star is equal to the first term. Then second row, S21 S12 star plus S22 S22 star. Second term is equal to 1. Okay. So first row, first column, second row, second column. I can simply solve this further, because when I said whenever I'm considering this lossless network do come into picture, and we know that already the Z and Y parameters and S matrix, these are all symmetric in nature. Okay, we have already seen this. So the first term I have written as it is, second term it is 1 2 and 2, it will become S12 and S12, or you can say because of this equal to 1. Here also it is S21 and S12, so you can take either 1 2 or 2 1 plus 2 2 is equal to 1. So this is using the symmetric property. And further, just now I have told you, whenever I'm taking the original value with its conjugate, I'm taking the mod. See here, mod indicates there is a sign change, there is a phase change, but however magnitude square we can take, plus S12, S12 star indicates S12 magnitude square is equal to 1. Important equation. Similarly, second, S21 star is modulus, that is the magnitude of S21 whole square, plus S22 star is magnitude of S22 whole square is equal to 1. So this is your unitary property. There is one more property under this only, okay, as a subsection, as a note you can take inside this unitary property only. When I told you to multiply, you have taken the first row and first column, and the second row and second column. What about the first row and second column? You can see here another two values are remaining with this red color. You can see these two. If you take the first row and first column, you can equate it to first term, and first row and second column you have to equate it to 0. So that is one more property, we call it zero property. Okay, so how you can simply change the statement of unitary property. What unitary property statement says, the sum of the products of each term of any one row or any one column of S multiplied by its complex conjugate. Okay, first row first column, second row second column, third row third column. So इससे क्या होगा, आप सिर्फ diagonal elements को equate करते जा रहे हैं. You can observe, see diagonal elements are getting equated. अगर आपको 3 port network है आपके पास, तो आपका आइडेंटिटी मैट्रिक्स ऐसे आएगा. Okay, so under that condition, again first row first column, second row second column, third row third column, and so on. So diagonal elements you are considering equal to 1. But what about the other remaining terms? This comes under zero property. So let me just read out the statement. The sum of products of each term of any one row or any one column, this is as it is multiplied with the complex conjugate of, here till this complex conjugate with its complex conjugate is unitary property. Okay, 1 1 1 2 2 3 3. but here it will be not its own complex conjugate, but it is the complex conjugate of any other remaining row or column. So any other remaining row or column is this, not the diagonal elements. So the summation, this value is equal to, earlier it was in unitary property 1, here it will be 0 because you are equating to 0. See, there is a 0 term. This is the statement for 0 property. Again, let me take one example of a two-port network. So if I take a two-port network, again S into S star is equal to 0. In unitary property, what I did, I think I should, oh yeah, it is 0. First row earlier in unitary, I'm showing you first row and first column we did. We got equal to 1. But this time, I will take first row and second column. Not its own complex conjugate, but the other row or any other column. Similarly, if I take second row, in a unitary property, second row, second column I took. Now second row, I can take first column. Exchange it. Okay, remaining columns you can multiply. So that will be equal to 0. So you can take, I have done it here. S11, I'm taking the first row, S11 with the second column. S12 star, first term, plus S12 into S22 star is equal to, it is a 0 property, not unitary, so it is equal to 0. Similarly, if I take the second row, in unitary second row second column से किया है, अभी हमको second row first column से करना है. So S21, S11, S21, S11, S22, S21, S22, S21 is equal to 0. Further, you can even simplify this, that is using the symmetric property. What I have done here, if I subtract these two equations, this itself is one example, but I'm just extending the analysis and showing you how you can find the values. So if I take the subtraction of these equations 1 and 2, you can observe S12, S11 star and S12, you can just write it here. I have written here first equation as it is, subtraction, there is a minus sign, second equation as it is, but यहाँ पे plus है, when I'm taking the subtraction this will become minus. Okay, so now I think few things you can take common. I think in these two, I have taken the check mark here. Take S12 common. How I can take S12 common? Because S21 and S12 are same, symmetric property. So take S12 common, you'll be left with S11 minus S22. ये एक हो गया. Then बाकी के ये दोनों में से आप S12 common ले लो. Again S11 minus S22 हो गया. Now how this equation is valid? आप इसको कैसे प्रूव करोगे? ये LHS, this should be equal to 0. Okay, when this will be equal to 0, try to analyze. Suppose अगर आप ये टर्म को 0 कर दिए, S12 star, okay, 0 multiplied by anything will be 0. Okay, ये जो फर्स्ट टर्म है ये 0 हो गया. If I consider, I'm just taking the possibilities, कब ये इक्वेशन 0 होगा. So S12 star is equal to 0. If I take this, तो ये आपका जो फर्स्ट टर्म है 0 हो जाएगा. 0 minus something, no, it can't be 0, right? 0 minus something can't be 0 because ये S12 नहीं है, sorry, S12 star नहीं है, S12 है. S12 star I am considering 0. So that this possibility vanishes. Second thing is, similarly what I can do, S12 I can try to make 0. अगर ये 0 हो गया तो ये second term 0 हो जाएगा. But what about the first term? So I can't do that. So वो भी possibility नहीं है. The only possibility remaining is this inside bracket. If I make S11 is equal to S22, okay, let's see what will happen to this equation. If I take both equal, ये term 0 हो जाएगा. Now, if I take S11 is equal to S22, taking the conjugates on both sides, their conjugates will also be equal. Taking the conjugates on both sides at once. So अगर S11 is equal to S22 हम लिए तो उसके conjugates भी equal हम ले रहे हैं. That time these two both the brackets are 0. So then this equation is valid, right? तो ये condition सही होगा. So S11 is equal to S22. Further ये just मैंने आपको analysis दिखाया है. This kind of analysis we will be doing in our next concept. Okay. Now I have just now dealt with unitary property and zero property. Difference क्या है दोनों में? RHS है. Okay. What is the difference in both? In unitary property, when you take row with its own complex conjugate, you are multiplying. But zero property में क्या कर रहे हो? You are multiplying some row or a column with the complex conjugate of any other remaining row or column. So that is the difference. In दोनों को club करके I can write a generalized equation in this form. Summation, this is applicable to both unitary and zero property. Depending upon certain condition, it will become either unitary or zero. We will see. This is a general equation. Summation n from 1 to n. You can take k also. Sni, Snj. Okay. This is a general term j. In unitary, this was I. Remember, here I am taking j. This is a general expression is equal to delta ij. Okay, delta is again a one term. It is called Kronecker delta. The value differs based on certain condition. So what will happen if I is equal to j? This will become ni star. So own conjugate, a row or a column with its own conjugate. So this will become your unitary property. When condition is I should be equal to j, then this equation gets turned to RHS equals to 1. This Kronecker delta will be equal to 1. I is equal to j. This will be your unitary property. Now, if I is not equal to j, then this Kronecker's delta, the value is 0. And this is your zero property. So, condition kya hai? I and j, if both are equal, this general equation turns to unitary property. If I is not equal to j, it turns to zero property. Hope you understood these two simple yet complex derivations, the proof of yes matrix properties. So we have actually seen some of the statements. Okay, explain the properties. We have seen some 6 to 7 properties listed. Derivation may we have seen symmetric, unitary, and yeah, in unitary also we have seen a subsection that is zero property. Okay, so in next topic is yes parameters of a two-port network with mismatched load. Okay, we had already started this concept, so we will be continuing this.